Create an automated triage flow in Awell. Triaging patients is a core element of any care organization's clinical operations. In this video, we'll build a care flow to triage patients who are eligible for a consultation with a therapist due to their depression symptoms. This flow will be based on a PHQ-2 validated questionnaire. You could of course use other forms as well. We'll start from a newly created empty care flow where we can find the start and end step by default and can add the first step of our flow to the empty canvas. A step in the Awell platform is an empty container to which we can add actions like forms, messages, calculations, API calls, etc. As our triage flow is based on the PHQ-2 questionnaire, we'll add a new form to the step. We can select a form from our form library or add a new form. We'll add a new form called PHQ-2. In the form builder, we can either create our questionnaire manually by adding the right question types to the form or import the form from the question library. As the PHQ-2 is already available in our library of about 70 validated questionnaires, we'll make it ourselves easy and just import the questions. When clicking on the questions, we can also see that they automatically have relevant question keys that we can use later on to create the conditional logic in our triage flow. Okay, now that our form is ready, we can assign it to the patient and add the corresponding PHQ-2 calculation from our calculation library. This calculation will automatically take the answers to the PHQ-2 form and calculate the score for each patient. We now just need to change the header and add a transition to finalize the first step. As this is a triage flow, we of course want to filter the patient who are eligible for therapy. We'll add a pre-configured step from our step library and an empty step. The step from the library already contains a message to the patient that she is eligible for therapy and an API call that will push a charting note to the EMR. In the empty step, we can add a message to the patient that he is currently not eligible for therapy. Now that all our steps are ready, we need to define the conditional logic of the transitions. So, if the PHQ-2 score is higher than or equal to 3, the patient goes to the eligible for therapy step. We could add an additional delay to the activation of the next step here, but in this case we'll stick with immediately. If the PHQ-2 score is lower than 3, the patient goes to the not eligible for therapy step. When we now connect the two last steps to the end, we're ready to publish our care flow and use it in clinical practice. The versioning functionalities in the Awell platform allow to continuously update care flows without losing visibility on the improvements that were made. We can now use the care flow in our patient and care team apps, which are already connected to the Awell platform via APIs. The patient can run through the flow and receive the right message depending on his or her answers to the PHQ-2 questionnaire. So that is how we create a simple triage flow in Awell. You can of course also create more complex flows in the Awell platform like this onboarding flow. If you're interested to see how you could create and integrate simple and more complex flows in your application, check out the description below this video.